on, and I got some red at the top of the screen, and I got some things clicking there, and I see us there, and I think I'm going to see us over on this screen in a moment. And there it is, and we are live. I'm going to unmute your microphone here, Ken, and there you are. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Doug.
Yeah, so, and hi to chat. We've got 11 people there already, and you said hello to them already, didn't you?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to mute that guy there. So what I'm going to start with is just to show the email that you sent to me so everybody knows where we're starting at. I've got audio there. Ken's Musadek says video and audio good.
Yep.
And so all of that looks like it's working. Now, all right, so I'm going to punch over to my second computer when I bring up your email here. It is over here. And this should come up. And I'm going to be, for those of you who are regulars here, which is probably everybody that's with us right now, I'm going to be working to get better and better at blurring out emails and phone numbers and things like that.
Well, that's fine. I'm good with that. I have no problems with that.
Yeah, it's not so much about you. It's about for other people who might be considering coming on with me. I want them to see that I am paying attention to that. And I still occasionally may miss once in a while, so let me know if I do. All right. So let me go over your email here, and then I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit. The first email that you sent to me, let's see. Well, it was yesterday morning.
Yep.
I tried something today that partially worked. I installed an older SSD I had with Windows 10 on it, and it booted just fine, went through massive updates, and when it was all said and done, works fine. Next, I shut the PC down and reconnected my old hard disk drive, a spinning drive, that contains all my programs and data. Restarted, and voila, it booted from the SSD and recognized the older drive with all the data. So far, so good. Since all my working data and programs are on the older drive, I wanted to access them somehow and be good to go. I actually reassigned the desktop, and it brought all the folders data over to the desktop of the SSD, but alas, no programs. Going old school, I did manage to create a link for Vegas Pro to work from the desktop of the SSD, but nothing else I tried worked. So I shut it all down, disconnected the SSD, went back to the HDD, and most things work except my OBS. So I'm punching back to the Zoom show. We're both on screen now. So that generates some questions in my mind. I want to let you make comments first if you want to elaborate on that.
I'm going to build a PC later this year, and I've got things on this PC that I'm going to want on that PC. And I was just doing a real quick experiment with when I put the SSD in the new one, how easy or how hard will it be just to put that drive in as a data, drive and run everything off of it and just use the SSD strictly to boot the machine up.
Okay.
Worked temporarily, and then it didn't. And then when I went back and unplugged it and went back straight to the old mechanical HHD, most things work. I somehow will show you, I guess would be the best thing to do, but when I go to log into my browser, I get an error that says credentials not, I got a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it. Something about my credentials aren't good and how to fix it. I figured out how to fix that, but then when I fixed that, I lost everything I had. So I unfixed it and it works, but I still get that message. And that message, go ahead.
Are you booted on the SSD or the HDD now?
No, the SSD is completely unplugged. I'm booting and running off of the hard drive.
All right.
It says profile error occurred. Your preferences cannot be read. Some features may be unavailable and changes to preferences won't be saved. So I got rid of that. But when I did that, I did not have anything. I could not get logged into my Google account, my Microsoft account. I couldn't get logged into anything. So I undone that, and lo and behold, I can get back into Google. I can get back into my password manager. Everything else works, but every time I start my browser, which is Google Chrome, I get that message. So that's just one little drawback of the problem.
Okay.
So,
all right. So let me ask you my questions.
sure.
You said that you put in an SSD that already had Windows 10 installed on it. How was Windows 10 installed on that SSD? Was that done in this computer or some other computer?
It was done on this computer when I lived in Vegas, and I had it. Oh, my light went out, so I went back. I got problems with this light. I may have to grab another light here in a minute. Anyway,
Right.
I installed it when I lived in Vegas. It was given to me, and as time expired, it just became mine. So it's to this motherboard.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember. I think because of the size, it's only 256 gigabytes. It's really old. I went back to my 2 terabyte hard drive and just set that aside. So I sit here the other day, put my parts list together, whatnot, and I thought, let me do an experiment of put the SSD in, have it boot the machine, which it did, 10 seconds. It was awesome. And then let me see if I can run everything I want to run on my new machine from the old hard drive. Well, the only thing I could run was Vegas Pro. I did create a link to go to the old hard drive, and it actually did work. But then when I tried OBS didn't work. So that's what prompted me to go back and put it all back together the way that it was.
Yeah. The first piece to say is that Windows programs have to be installed. They can't be copied from one drive to another drive, and they can't be launched from a drive that was not used to install the software. So like if you have that hard drive connected through a USB perhaps, and you run an installation of a program and you give that installation process the directive to install on that other drive, that could work, but it's not going to run very well. So that's really the first part is installing the SSD. Yeah, you follow that reasoning.
Yep.
Okay. So if the end objective is to get an SSD in this computer and your program's running from it, then you need to put the SSD in and actually perform installations of the programs that you want to use.
Right.
And there's probably a lot of files and data and such, and even configuration information on the hard disk drive that you'd like to have transferred to the SSD, and we can do that with Fab's Auto Backup. Have you heard of Fab's Auto Backup?
No, I have not.
Okay, Fab's Auto Backup is a program that its shining point in life is to copy a user profile from one computer to another. It can't copy programs, but it can copy all your documents and pictures and internet favorites and password lists and a good variety of stuff to your new hard drive or your new profile.
Okay.
And there is a free version of that. So that is something that may become of interest to you. I see there's a lot of folders on your desktop over here. And
hang on a second. I'll help you out with that.
All right.
Oh, I did it right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the...
So I try to separate it with side is nonsense that I'm playing around in.
Right.
In Vegas Pro and OBS, and then all my pictures.
Yeah.
And then over here is everything I use to do whatever it is I'm going to do when I'm doing it. So the new PC is only going to be used to do video editing and live broadcast. That's it. It's not going to do anything else. Eventually, that's the ultimate goal. Come on, Mike.
Is that a motion sensor light?
No, it's just an old lamp, and I don't know where the short's at, but there's a short. I only use it when I'm using the cameras, and it's only got this one adjustable part on it, so I have to work through it.
So I see that you have a lot of folders on your desktop that are actually data content, and we don't see the shortcut arrow that would be for shortcuts. So some people in the chat are probably going to object to that. I don't worry about it too much. It's not real good practice to keep data on the desktop because the desktop of Windows is a little more vulnerable to things going wrong, and it takes up resources on the computer.
Okay, so should I put them on an external drive? I've got a docking station.
No, it wouldn't be an external drive. I'll go ahead and do a few clicks and demonstrate. I'm going to come down here to Windows Explorer on the bottom.
All right.
And Windows 10 has this Documents folder and a
Right.
Pictures folder. So those
Right.
are the places that Windows really intends for you to keep your data files. So just as a demonstration, I'll take one of these folders and then we'll undo that and let you do this when you really want to. So I'm just going to drag this folder over to the Documents folder. Now I probably should have asked, it looks like those might be pictures. Are those pictures in that folder?
Yeah, that's...
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm gonna abort this. I'm gonna press the escape key first, and that'll abort that operation, let go of the mouse button. Then I'm gonna go to the Pictures folder because that's a more sensible place for these folders to be. So this family folder, I'm going to drag it over here to the Pictures folder. Now I want to move it to a place where it's not highlighting any other folder.
Right.
If I put it here, then that means it's going to move into that folder.
Right.
I don't want that, so I'm going to move it to a place where it's not highlighting any other folder. Now that little bubble pop-up says Move to Pictures, so this is going to do a move operation. If I hold down the Control key, the word move changes to the word copy. Because doing a copy and drag would be for copying, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to let go of the Control key to get back to the word move. I'm going to let go of the mouse, and it's actually going to accomplish the move operation, and then I'm going to demonstrate the next step of this technique. So here's that family folder down here. Now then, you like to be, I'm just going to assume that you like to access this from the desktop. So now I'm going to hold down the Control and Shift keys, and I'm going to drag back to the desktop. And that bubble says this is going to create a link in the desktop.
Right.
So it's not moving, it's not copying. So letting go of the mouse button first, and then these files might be harmful to your computer. Internet security settings suggest that one or more files may be harmful. Well, we know what the files are, so we're going to click OK for that. So then this says Family Shortcut. So now anytime you double click on this, it's going to open that folder, show you the contents of it, but those contents aren't actually stored on the desktop. This is just a shortcut here.
Okay.
So that reduces the demand on the computer because it reduces, every time you come back to this desktop, it has to reevaluate everything that's on the desktop, including the contents of these folders. So that can be a source of sluggishness.
Right.
And
so,
then, yeah, go ahead.
Well, years ago, I was told not to put anything, for example, if I were to drag a movie out here that I made and put it on a desktop, I was told not to do that, but to go ahead and create a folder and put it in there, and that was the route to go. But if I'm understanding you correctly, it would be better to put it over here, put the shortcut over here, because it'd be less taxing on the system itself, and it will access what I need to have accessed.
Absolutely.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
Let me go over here and see if I can demonstrate that more. Here's a folder called Desktop. So when I click on that, all of this stuff here is the stuff that's on your desktop. We're seeing it through File Explorer now. Let's make this a little bit wider. And then come up here to the View menu and change this to Details. So then down here, here's that family shortcut, and it's taking up 1 kilobyte of space on your desktop.
Okay.
If I come to one of these other folders and actually it's enough to just float over it. If I float over any of these, it shows that one there is 1.76 gigabytes of space that is living on your desktop.
Right.
So that is taking a special portion of your RAM memory that is reserved for displaying the content of your desktop.
Okay.
So that's two factors. It can be a sluggishness issue, and it can be a risk issue, because the desktop is a little more prone to the possibility of some form of corruption or damage than is the pictures folder or the documents folder.
Kind of protects them.
Yeah, it protects it, and it's better practice. I think the point could probably be argued, and I have to fess up to not having researched it deeply recently, but that's been a pretty long-standing best practice to not actually store data on the desktop. I'm going to take a look over here at the chat and see if there's anything I need to catch up on.
Sure.
Let's see. Hello. I see people saying hello, so hello everybody. Thank you for being here. Then Blues Rider gave me a confirmation on sound and audio that I asked him for earlier. Tony says hello. Bruins, hello from Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Viv's here from Australia. Hello, Viv. Glad to see you. And she's saying hello to others. GW Ison is here, and Chris Garrett. Yep, okay, great. Now, so that was kind of a sidetrack to your actual objective. Now,
You're fine.
Yeah. Do you want us to move that family back here for now? Or
No, that's good. No,
okay.
I'll probably tonight sit down and move everything that's over there into either documents or pictures, and that will actually help out this computer.
Yeah.
So
now, actually, if I can, let me give you one more shortcut to doing this.
Okay.
I can click on one of these folders on the desktop, then control click on another one. So you can select multiple items from the desktop, just like you do any multiple selections. I'm going to click out in the blank space and show another method. Up here in this blank area of the desktop where I'm not pointing to anything, I'll hold down the mouse button, drag a rectangle across all of this stuff to select all of it. Now, if we were to drag all this over here to the pictures folder, well, we're looking at the desktop folder now. Let's get back to have all that selected.
Right. It should grab it all and put it in there, right?
Yeah, well, so here's what happens. I'm going to describe it before doing it. I'm not totally sure if we're going to do it now. That'll be up to you. But if we drag all this over here and make sure the mouse is pointing at a place where it's not highlighting any other folder name.
Right.
Then let go of the mouse. It'll ask us confirmation. It'll move all that stuff over there. At that moment, just after they all move over there, they're still selected. So then we can point to any one of those selected items and do a Control-Shift drag back out to the desktop and let go of the mouse, and it creates all of those shortcuts. So it's just two motions.
Yeah.
To fix all of that in one fell swoop.
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Do you want to do that later, or do you want to demonstrate that live?
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible in the pictures to create a folder in the pictures in here and put everything in and create a shortcut that it'll come right back to that folder? Does that make sense?
Oh, that's a beautiful idea. Yeah. So here, I'll come over here into this area inside the pictures folder, right click, click new. I didn't actually click, I just floated over new. Now click folder. So that creates a new folder. Now we could call it desktop photos. We could call it pictures from desktop. Where basically you're saying that you want to keep all of these folders that are currently on the desktop grouped together.
I'm looking at them real quick because the only thing I don't think is related to what I'm doing. Yeah, I actually could. So I'll name it real quick if you want me to.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay.
Desktop data. Okay.
Yeah, I know what it is. I wrote myself a note.
Okay. So now, just because I haven't done this in a long time, I'm just going to take a little bit smaller group in one shot. And actually, I was premature in selecting those. Before doing that, I should double click on desktop data so we're in that folder.
All right. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So now, dragging across this group of them, let go of the mouse button. Now come to any one of those and drag over to this folder, and it says move to desktop data, and then let go of the mouse button, and there they all are, and they're still selected.
Right.
So now point the mouse to any one of those, Control Shift drag back out to the desktop, let go of the mouse button first, and answer OK. And that gives us shortcuts. Now, it laid them out on your screen in a different pattern.
Right. So it gave us all the shortcuts to everything that's in there then.
Yeah, those are all shortcuts to all of this stuff.
Okay.
Now, just to make this easier to keep track of or deal with, actually, this is a little bit superfluous. Don't have to do this, but like I'll take, I'll just click on one of these and control click on the other and move these down here, kind of set them, keeping them together.
Right. No, I understand what you're doing.
Yeah. Now, when I clicked on one of those, it actually moved into that folder. So I'm going to click up here on desktop data to get back to that folder. So do you want to go ahead and try another group of them yourself?
Let me move this down here first.
Yeah.
And
oh, that was another one. Yeah.
I could actually, if I understand you correctly, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then grab one, bring it over here. Now, before I let go, what do I need to hit? Nothing?
None of the keys on the keyboard. You just let go of the mouse, and that's going to accomplish the move. And you want to confirm that by looking at the message in that bubble, because there are some instances when the default motion is going to be to move, and other instances where the default dragging action is going to be to copy.
Copy it, right.
So you should
okay, so now you said, yeah, it looks good from here. So now you said
Control Shift and then drag. Hold down the control.
I have to left click it first?
Nope, do not do that. If you do that, you'll mess it up.
So Control Shift.
Hold down Control and Shift and then drag. Let go of the mouse first and then OK.
Right. Oh, put them all over there where we can't see them. That's fine. I can clean that up later.
Oh, did?
Yeah, they're over here. That's fine.
Well, actually, let me look at something first. It's a little odd that it's got all of these highlighted now. So I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to... Oh, I see. It opened the desktop folder is what it did. It was still just the ones that we were wanting.
Oh.
Was it? No, it's not. It did some duplication, didn't it? iPhone 2015. So, yeah, let me demonstrate this. Over here, this iPhone 2015 shortcut. I want to know if there's other occurrences of a folder called iPhone. So I'm going to press the letter I on the keyboard. And that rectangle ghost around that folder is going to move to another item that begins with an I.
Right.
So I'm still doing, there's an I up there towards the top, iPhone 2015 shortcut, and in parentheses it says 2. That tells us it's a duplicate. So all of these that have a 2 were duplicates. And somewhere along there, I think you had a slip of the mouse button that...
Probably.
Yeah. Let's see. Now, actually, that one says... The ones we're looking to get rid of are the ones that say shortcut and then a 2 in parentheses. This one is not a 2 in parentheses after the word shortcut. So I'm not convinced that that one was. I think it's feeling a little ambiguous. Which ones are duplicates that we just created?
I think it's just those three, and I apologize again for my light.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it went out. Because the one that's got the one that says new folder in parentheses 2 shortcut 0, I think that's my new folder that I just haven't renamed them yet.
All right.
I'm lazy.
Well, I think you're going to need to spend a little time to figure out what duplicates that
Sure.
created, and I'll let you do that on your own.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So let's see. That was desktop data, and we took those. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to try to figure out what happened there. I might go back and look at the video later.
No problem.
So let's see. Looking at chat. Somebody says DVR function not working. Let me go look at that again, because I asked them to check on that for me, and it does. Oh, the enable DVR turned off. Enable auto start is on, so I just clicked on enable DVR and the switch did flip. So try again. It might take a little while before that becomes available for you guys to test. But I had it enabled before we started. Okay, so somebody in chat, Christoph says, I would also suggest moving the folders to another directory and using shortcuts, but an SSD will work wonders. GWISN says, on a drive greater than 32 gigabytes, all files take up the minimum of 4,096 bytes of space. Well, yes, if a file is less than 4,096, then it's going to take up 4,096 because that's one block. If a file size is 5,000 some odd, it's going to take up 8,182, I think it is, because hard drives go in blocks at a time. So then ATEX, hello everyone, what's the objective today? I'll repeat that in a couple minutes. ATEX, Philip says hello. Kurt says hello from Bridgeport, Ohio. Great show as always. Thank you so much, Kurt. Harambe says refresh the page to enable DVR chat. DVR chat? Okay, so Chris says that yes, it works now. I assume you mean DVR works. You might have to refresh the page on your end, the viewer's end, for the DVR to work. That makes sense. Yeah. So I had turned on DVR before we started the live stream, and then apparently it automatically disabled after we started. I don't know what that's about. So I may need to be reminded after a live stream starts to reactivate that. All right, so I'm going to restate our objective to get us back on track because we've been straying here. You had installed an SSD drive that you had on hand that previously had been formatted for Windows in this computer, and you put it back in this computer. It took quite a while of updates and such for it to become usable, and then it was usable. And then you connected your original hard disk drive that was in this computer that has your programs and data on it, and you attempted to see if you could run programs that were installed on that drive, and only one of them did work. It is possible occasionally to come across a program that will work that way, but it has to be a program that doesn't really need to be installed or doesn't care that much. I've had some surprising instances where I can launch an executable file from an externally connected drive and it works, and I didn't think it would. But then it might not work for all functions within the program. So your objective is to get this computer booting and running off of an SSD drive.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the ultimate goal. Is that if I can get the SSD to go back and use it while I put some finances together to build the computer, then that's fine. If not, I'm good with where we're at.
So a couple comments I'd like to make on that is you could put that SSD back in and then install programs on it, transfer data to it, but you're planning to build a new computer. So is it worth going through all that work
Right.
just for the interim time? Maybe not.
Right. No, it's right. Because the only thing I'm gaining is I'd be gaining, instead of a minute and a half boot up, I'm getting a 10-second boot up, and that's it. There's no gain for me in that.
And how often are you going to reboot the computer? If you're doing that 100 times a day, you might care about it.
No.
So there's another piece I'd like to talk through, though, just for a little different scenario than yours. I don't think you'd be interested in this yourself. But that SSD drive you had was formatted or had Windows 10 installed on it some time ago. You put it into your computer, went through a lot of updates, and if you were going to run forward with that and install programs and such on it, and right now it doesn't have much on it that's really of use to you, I would prefer to do a fresh installation of Windows 10 on that drive rather than utilizing the old installation that was done and you've done a bunch of updates. Because clean installs of the operating system isn't really such a big thing as it used to be, but it still is useful. Now, as an example, I have one of my computers, the little laptop that I take around to my clients' offices. It failed to upgrade from Windows 10 1909 to Windows 10 20H2. And it's a very small SSD. It's not fair to call it an SSD. It's a Microsoft Surface. It's a Microsoft Surface, a laptop. The type that the top can be pulled off, the keyboard and monitor separated.
Right.
So it's very low capacity. So rather than struggling with it, it had already been through a lot of things in its life. I just did a fresh install of 20H2, and that worked great. And this computer is really zippy now, and it's actually one of my zippiest computers, and it's a 2013 model computer.
Wow.
And let me give you this. This should blow some people away. I can have my typical Chrome browser automatically opens to my Gmail and my calendar and my contacts and my QuickBooks Online and maybe some other browsing tabs that I might have open. And then I'll also have open Microsoft OneNote with about 20 or 30 different client data tabs in there. And each of those client data tabs have different sub-tabs. Each of those sub-tabs have other sub-tabs because OneNote has this really sophisticated way of handling things. So what I'm getting at is I can have also Microsoft Word and Excel open. So a lot of stuff open.
Right.
And this computer has 2 gigabytes of RAM memory total.
And it doesn't lock it up?
No, doesn't lock it up. Doesn't drag. It is seriously, it's a zippy computer. I think they really did a good job on that. The first models of Microsoft Surface took a lot of criticism, but until that thing works good for me.
Right.
But the point there is a fresh install of Windows 10. Now, even before I did the fresh install of Windows 10, it was still pretty good. But that computer had, 7 years on it of installing and uninstalling programs and upgrading and such.
Right.
So it's even better after a fresh install. All right.
I might try that. I might get bored during a rainy day, and I might actually do that.
Yeah, that SSD doesn't really stand to be usable by you for anything else from what you've described so far.
Nope. It's got one folder on it. I think it's got about 9 test pictures in it that I put over on it just to see what would happen, and it worked just fine. So, yeah, there's no harm in redoing that whatsoever.
Yeah. And
So,
also perhaps even just maybe even on the SSD using it for a specific purpose. Now, is this a tower computer or what kind
it
of
is.
computer? Okay, so
It's a homemade computer I bought off of a guy in Vegas. It was a friend of mine. He's kind of desperate for money.
yeah,
It's got i7 processor. It's got 24 gigabyte of RAM in it. It does have a VGA. It's got a video card in it. MSI, that's all I know about it. I'm not big on graphics cards. The only thing I did is I did put in the memory sticks to get it to its max memory. And it's been a good computer. I've had it now for about 5 years. And I can't upgrade it any more than it is, hence the reason to want to build a computer. And we can discuss about that at a different time.
sure.
But I'm happy with it. It's fast. I can lock it up, though. I actually can. I'm a lot like you. You get so much opened up and you forget about it. I'll have 2 browsers going with 15 tabs. I'll get Vegas Pro going. I'll get OBS going. I'll be doing a live YouTube broadcast. And the next thing I know is I've got no computer. So, and again, that's one of the reasons why I want to build one. I want to build a dedicated system for dedicated usage only.
Yeah.
And then use this for everything else.
Well, let me pitch you another idea if you're interested in experimenting. What about mounting the SSD in the computer while the hard drive is still there, having them both connected and being familiar with whatever the keystroke is on your computer for choosing a boot drive, so that you can restart the computer and select which computer you want to boot on this time. And then on your SSD, just install specific use things. You mentioned OBS. Now, I don't know what you're doing with OBS, but is there a certain aspect of what you do that you only need maybe your web browser and OBS and maybe a game program that you can just have this limited installation on it and just run off of that for this period of work that you're doing? And could that be entertaining, informative?
OBS is only used when I do a live. That's the only. I mean, there's probably other platforms out there, but that's the one that my limited research pointed me to.
Oh, it's fine.
So I use OBS and YouTube in conjunction to do live broadcast, and that's its sole purpose, nothing else.
When you do those live broadcasts, are you running other software on your computer?
The only other thing I would be running would be when I'm showing a demonstration in Vegas Pro, and that would be it. Just those 3 things go together when I'm doing it. I don't do anything else. I don't play any games. In fact, I do have a question when we're done with this about my solitaire seems to not be working for some reason after all this, and I have no clue why. I play that daily.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I laugh at that because I've had a few clients over the years that's really the main thing they care about. Particularly if I talk to them about upgrading them to a new operating system, they say, "Am I going to lose my solitaire?" I can
relate. So
yes.
Yeah, but I came to the conclusion today, if I have to reinstall it, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's just, it passes the time while I'm waiting on my wife to get ready to go somewhere, just killing time. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's no competitiveness to it whatsoever. I'm kind of confused on how we could put the SSD back in and do what you said. That's a really good idea. So if I wanted to do that, I only wanted to do broadcasting, I would boot to the SSD. My programs are there for that. And if I don't want to do that, then I boot to the hard drive and do everything else I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I did it. Okay.
I'm not sure that that's going to give you an advantage. Maybe yes, maybe no, but it certainly would be educational for the experience of doing it. So your computer, is it a custom built computer, or is it a brand name computer? What is it?
No, it's custom built. The case and the cooler are Intermax.
Yeah.
The motherboard's a P6T, I believe. I can't remember the brand name. The memory's all over the board. I mean, there's 2, 4, 6 slots, and they're all matched, except all 6 of them aren't matched to the same. I hope you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah.
2 is one brand, 2 is another brand, 2 is another brand, but it all works. The PC recognizes it. It's
Yeah.
maxed out at 24 gigs, so I'm good to go there. Like I said, the graphics card's an MSI. Other than that, I get this little pop-up every now and then that says AMD needs to update your graphics card. I click on that and does what it does.
All right.
So
Yeah, so in answer to your question of how to do it, connect your SSD to the next available SATA port, so that the SSD has power and signal cable. If you're short of cables, if you don't have an extra
no, I
signal
got plenty
cable,
of
that might
cables.
be okay.
But
So
I'd need to shut the computer down to do that, wouldn't I?
oh yes, shut the
Yeah,
computer down,
okay.
and you need to determine what is the keyboard function key for selecting a boot drive. Which to get a choice
Is
of
that
which drive you
something
want to
that's
boot on.
is that something that's compatible with most motherboards?
It's available on all motherboards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what I'll typically do if I'm unfamiliar with what the keystroke is for the particular computer, I'll rapid fire the escape key while the computer is rebooting. For a lot of computers, that'll just kind of pause the boot and display something on screen to
Right.
give you instructions of what to do. I hit one computer, what was it? This computer today, I think it was. Yeah, I was doing the escape key and it gave me a message in the bottom left, press the enter key to pause the boot process. And that was the first time I've seen it as an enter key. But most of the times it's F9 or F12, and that's what it turned out to be on this computer. Because yeah, I rebooted this computer to run Macrium Reflect off of a USB drive to do an image backup of it. I'm actually my computer number 2. I'll switch to my camera 3 here. This is a different monitor than what I'm usually using, and it's connected to a different computer than I'm usually using. It's one of these. I know you can't see this, Ken, because you're not watching on YouTube, but
No, I didn't want to complicate things.
yeah. So this is a Lenovo computer that I've have 2 of them here right now for a client. I installed one last week for another client. I've got another one ready for me to pick up today. I'm really liking these little Lenovo microcomputers. But anyway, this one I'm testing here is faster than what I normally call my computer number 2. And I'm thinking of getting one of those for myself. So anyway,
Okay, can I think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I think out loud for a second?
Yes.
See the smoke rolling yet? Okay, so if I were to shut my computer down, and let me answer this. This is from the boss. Okay, so if I shut it down, unplug the power, hit the power button, dissipate all the power, unhook the HHD, rehook up the solid state drive, reinstall Windows 10 since there's nothing on it anyway. I'm not going to hurt anything. Then I can reinstall the 2 programs that I want to use to the HHD. Then would we go back and reconfigure it, plug the hard drive in and reconfigure it to recognize the 2 different drives?
There's no configuration to do to get it to recognize the 2 different drives. You just plug them both in and then press whatever key on the keyboard it is to give you an option on screen. Which one do you want to boot from?
Oh, okay.
There's no configuration needed.
Okay.
Just as long as those 2 drives are connected, you'll be able to get to a screen where you can select between them. So there was a piece of your description there that I think you mistakenly referred to installing software on your hard disk drive, where I think you meant the SSD.
Right, yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so go ahead.
Yeah, let me catch you on one point. You've reiterated a few times the term HHD.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that was a mistake or if you're aware or just have it mistaken, but it's a hard disk drive. So it's HDD, not HHD.
I'm old.
Yeah, that's quite all right. It's just I got it since I'm calling this a teaching channel.
No, you're yeah,
I should
yeah. It
correct
is
those
an
things.
HD hard disk drive. Yeah.
Hard disk
I
drive.
just should go with mechanical drive, and then everybody know what
There
we're
you go.
talking about.
Spinning drive, we all know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
can do that.
let me catch up here on chat. See if there's anything we need to catch up on. There's quite a bit going on here, I guess. Let's see. Oh, there's hello, Catherine. Hello, Chris. Chris is my 2014 Dell Inspiron laptop Core i3. Is slow even with an SSD. It's got 8 gigabytes, and that's the max. Well, I think there's probably something going on in your operating system or drivers in the background or something that's slowing things down. And that's something I'd love to help with if you come into a session with me. And Harambe says Chrome hogs RAM. Yes, and we can display that on screen. There's some of you already know about going into Task Manager to display CPU utilization, but when you have Chrome open, you can do, I think it's Shift Escape, and you get a similar screen that is just for Chrome. It's a Task Manager for Chrome. Yeah, it's Shift Escape. Then let's see. Catherine says, I gladly help you, Ken, with the parts list for your new PC.
She did, and
She did.
I'm still, unfortunately, still married, and I got to put everything through the boss's budget. I got my first okay the other day, actually, so that's a step in the right direction. Now I just got to decide, and I probably need to get with either Carrie or Catherine, either one, and discuss why and what I'm going to do with this computer, because knowing the way I think, I probably have got way too much computer for what I want it for, and probably can scale back a little bit.
That could be.
So,
that could be.
I brought up my Task Manager. I'm looking at the performances right now, and
Yeah.
that looks pretty good.
Let's see. Chris says, I miss playing checkers online with someone. Microsoft stopped that. I skipped over some of the hellos back and forth between different people in chat. Let's see. Catherine. Yeah, Catherine mentions that F12 might be the boot. Yes, that's true. GWI said an old hard drive, an old tech run ScanDisk and defrag and antivirus, then get fired by me. It sounds like there's a joke in there somewhere, but I think I probably missed something. ATEX, sometimes I will just run my hands across the keyboard when in doubt. Oh, yes. Okay, so the boot, when you're restarting the computer, he's saying he'll run the hands across the keyboard. I'm assuming they function keys, but I'll put both hands up there like escape F1, F2, and delete F10, 12, F9, and just treat it like a piano, just happy fingers, trying to catch the right key. Let's see. Chris just checkers. Chris, always disconnect my second HDD when installing Windows because it has data and clumsy me will delete the wrong drive. And you already mentioned that you would just have the SSD connected when you reinstall Windows.
Right. Yeah, I would disconnect the mechanical drive and set it aside.
Catherine echoing the HDD and acronyms are complicated. Tony LOL. Chris says could be directed towards me. That must be a response to something I was saying at the time. Frankie says hello. Headeram 560, hello. Rainy day in Georgia. I assume that's what GA is. Chris Garrett, I'm already on your list. We'll get back to you. Oh, yes. Okay, of course, Chris. Thank you. Tony saying hello to Frankie. Catherine, patience is needed. Chris Headeram, you must be in North Georgia. We haven't had any rain. Hello, Tony. Chris. There's an Asus P16 motherboard boot F8 for Asus. Okay. caught up. So let's see. Sometimes I get so mixed up with finding my place in chat. So if I write down the time increment in chat, it's easier to catch up to. All right, we're back, Ken. What else have we got to talk about?
The only thing that I've got to figure out, and I think I kind of figured this out on my own, when I reboot, my solitaire is highlighted, and when I just like the weather, if I click on the weather, nothing happens. It turns black and it doesn't work. And I have no clue what I did to mess that up. I really don't. So I'm thinking if I do a fresh install of Windows on the solid state drive, that will reinstall these on that drive. So if I want to go back to playing solitaire and checking my weather, it's going to be there for me.
Well, let's try a couple things. And again, because
hands free, you got it, all yours.
We're all about education here. Unpin from start, resize, more, uninstall. If I go to more, turn live tile off, pin to taskbar, app settings, rate and review. So I'm trying right click on app settings, that does nothing. Trying left click on app settings. And what app was that?
The either solitaire or weather app, either one.
That was.
I don't think Photos works either. I don't know. I can't remember if Photos worked or not.
Yeah, I was on the weather app. So let's come down here. Is there a weather app showing here?
Nope.
I don't see it called weather.
Nope. Unless it's called Microsoft Weather, which nope, I would think not.
And then solitaire, unpin from start, resize, more, app settings, this is solitaire, Microsoft Solitaire Collection.
Okay, the only thing I see is it says the app has 0 bytes.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good, does it?
No, to me, I'm thinking not.
Reset. If this app isn't working right, reset it. The app's data will be deleted. I don't know if you're willing to lose those solitaire close call games you were doing.
Not a big deal.
All right, so let's see what that does. This will permanently delete the app's data on this device, including your preferences, sign-in details. I've never tried to repair a Microsoft Store app. It's never come up. So this is a new one.
I've never tried that either. I'm guessing the check mark means it's reset.
Yes, I was just looking over it to say, is the video blurred for you viewers? I'm looking at my third computer here and it looks pretty blurred.
Did you see the screen just flash again? Or is that me?
I see the problem. My third computer is on low resolution. I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, so I don't know that. So I'm going to close this and then go back over here.
Oh, it's back.
That looks promising, doesn't it? I did a single click on that. I think those only need a single click in there. Trying a double click. Trying a right click. Still not impressive.
Not graying itself out like it was, though.
Right. It's hard to imagine that a program like Solitaire would require a reboot. It's not
Reboot really didn't help. I've rebooted it since yesterday morning probably 10 times.
Yeah, but you haven't done that after we did the reset.
Oh, that's true.
So let's try another. App settings, does that get us anything better? So then another thing on my mind is just go to the Microsoft Store and search for Solitaire. See, it doesn't show up in here, but we did have an actual settings panel for it that we got into somehow.
I think you clicked on that and then it went before. I think you went into apps and then. How did you do that?
Search for solitaire. No. Okay, so here's the Microsoft Store down here on your taskbar, the shopping bag. Oop, where'd it go? I looked away. Did it fail to launch?
I don't think it did launch actually, but it did disappear.
Oh, it disappeared.
Yeah, I don't see it down there anymore.
Okay, Windows key, store, and enter. Right, here's an open, and that's not even clickable. Huh. Seems like there's something not functioning right about Microsoft Store.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to minimize your screen, and you won't see this, but the viewers will. I'm going to my computer number 2 and click on the start button and then store and then enter. Yeah, that goes right into the Microsoft Store. So clearly something not working right on your computer in regards to Microsoft Store. So Windows key, store, right click, that itself is an app. And then single left click on app settings. This gets us to
000.
Yeah, that's messed up. Doesn't seem right. Well, I'm going to compare that to that screen on my computer. So then I'm down here. Let me get that out of the way. So Windows key, store, right click on Microsoft Store, single left click on app settings. Well, the app says 0 bytes, but data is 1.22 megabytes. So that means this 0 bytes is not of concern, but I do have numbers showing here, and background apps on my computer was turned on. So we're working now from your hard disk drive, and
Right.
it was mostly functional. But you didn't really make any changes to it. You just started experimenting with your SSD.
Right, and the only thing that I did was created a link for Vegas Pro to work by going into, I want to say, properties and redirecting. Instead of looking on the solid state drive, it looked over to the mechanical drive, and I put that on the desktop, and it worked just fine. That's the only thing I did.
That was just for Vegas Pro, not for...
Right, that was for Vegas Pro.
All right. So I'm looking back at chat to see if somebody's got some tips there. 2:51 p.m. in the chat. Winter mute, there's an Asus P16 motherboard, F8 for Asus usually. Catherine says set check system info. Blackwatch, MS has my weather from Ottawa, St. Catharines. I'm not anywhere near that, so no good to me. You're good, Saint. Delete weather and news. Ton of other apps. Ottawa, weather and House of Commons, stormy. If you press on sign in store, Yeah, that sounds interesting, because you're probably, I'm guessing you're logging in with a local account rather than a Microsoft account. So I'll do sign in options.
I thought I had a Microsoft account.
Let's see what you're logging in with. Yeah, you're logging in with a Microsoft account, and there I just scored a demerit. So with going to the Microsoft Store, can we sign in to the Microsoft Store here? I can't actually launch that Microsoft Store. I can go into App Settings. I don't think we have a place in here to sign in. Now we did get one step better when we did a reset. Maybe we do another reset. All right, so
Right, it did re-highlight the solitaire, but then it wouldn't launch when we reset it. But like you said, we didn't restart the computer, and that could be it.
yeah.
I'll go ahead and shut down the task manager. I don't think we need that anymore.
No.
Okay, it blinked again, so it did something.
I didn't think there's anything in here about solitaire or store. All right, so let's take a look. Make sure that Task Manager doesn't have any residual elements for Microsoft Store.
I got a question on Task Manager while you're doing that. You see Google Chrome shows there's 7 instances of Google Chrome running.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that 7 means?
Well, that's these right here, and those are 7 elements of Google Chrome, but that doesn't mean 7 tabs.
Okay.
Within Google Chrome.
Okay.
And if you right-click on one of these and would go to Details, that's going to take us to this Details tab, but it's going to take us to the item in the Details tab that is connected with this instance of Google Chrome. So we click on that. So now we're on the Details tab, and it's highlighting the instance of Chrome that was connected to that process. Now you can end that specific task, and this kind of experimenting can figure out what's going on. But notice we have more than 7 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and back here we still see 7.
Right.
So the power usage over here can give you an indication of what element within Chrome is taking a lot of activity, your CPU usage for those, but they're not directly associated with the tab.
Okay.
So what they're actually doing, a little bit of a mystery. You know, we know that Google Chrome sends a lot of stuff upstream to Phone Home.
Right.
And on each of the tabs that you do have open, there can be trackers, tracers, cookies, things along those
Right.
lines that could be associated with these. And I don't know that. I have not researched deeply into those nuances, because I frankly haven't had a motivating reason to, other than
I
my
told
cur-
you, I wondered what it was.
Yeah, yeah. So and then that is up here in the app section. Down here in the background processes, we have more Google Chrome stuff.
Right.
And they don't all have the Google Chrome logo. This one, Google Crash Handler, a couple of those. Now, the reason I was coming in here, I was wanting to see if there's anything related to Solitaire that was still lurking around. Because sometimes I have programs that won't launch, and the solution is to go end task because a prior instance is not properly released its use of resources. So we're looking for store and Solitaire, not seeing anything. So that didn't give us anything. Now if we bring this Google Chrome up, I'm going to bring in a fresh tab and then Shift Escape. This is a task manager that's specifically for Google Chrome. I'll maximize that so we can see more of it. So this is all Google Chrome stuff going on and showing CPU utilization over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is your Zoom session. So it's taking up more than anything else that you currently have going on in Chrome. And this screen gives you a little more clue about what they are. New tab page right there. And then there's subframes, extensions. So I think what this is telling us is...
That's right.
I think these 4 items here are part of that new tab. Again, I haven't looked into that a lot. All right, closing that down. And minimize that. Close that. All right, well, I kind of want to know with a restart if that fixes things. Are you okay for a restart? We're going to lose the Zoom session. The remote connection will automatically come back. And
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, when the remote session comes back, then we can reconnect the Zoom session. Now I want to see, you're connected through the browser on Zoom, and that's not my link. Okay, got it.
Right. The one you sent me got to 90% and got stuck, and it just sat there for forever. And then I don't know, I fiddled around. It said, do you want to connect with the browser, which is what I did, and it kind of works.
Okay.
So I'll work on the light while it's restarting.
All right. I'm just looking here to see. Do you are you clear in your mind how to get back into the Zoom session?
I should be able to go right back into the same thing I did and it worked. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll be able to see what you're doing on the screen once it restarts.
Okay.
So we'll just watch you get back in. So I'm going to issue the command to restart. That's going to close everything else down. So I click here on reboot, normal reboot, and reconnect, and you are going to be gone in 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's gone. Would like to reboot your system. Yes. Okay.
You got to click that. Now he's gone. All right. Well, this is interesting. A little different than what we were anticipating doing, but informative and educational, I think. Let's see, I'm seeing 24 concurrent viewers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll come back over to this screen and we'll watch the restart coming back up. Shows rebooting right here, and it's now counting 27 seconds. So it's on the uphill side of the reboot. Then let's see, 302 in the chat. I'm going to back up to 302 timestamp in the chat. Chris, 1 terabyte M.2, 1 terabyte SATA, Wintermute, try the troubleshooter for Windows Store apps. That's good. It's in settings, update security. Thank you. I didn't know offhand quite where to get to that, but that makes sense. Catherine, maybe it's not pointing to the app. That makes sense. Viv, Chris, Garrett, my Dell Inspiron, which I upgraded from XP to Windows 10 Pro, has one process only after Microsoft pulled the plug. Viv, this now has a SSD and 4 gig memory, going XP to 7, required a fresh install, runs fine on the shelf because I finally bought a new Dell Inspiron. You should take up Doug's offer. Yes, thank you for that confirmation. Catherine, Chrome is tracking everything. Yeah. Let's see, what does Chrome not know? Chrome does not know what I ate for breakfast this morning. Chris, oh, let's see, here we're back. I see something happening. There's launch remote control session. I saw that blinking out of my left eye. And there, he's back to the wallpaper. Single click there. And trying to remember to switch views when I should. That wasn't anything really exposing there. Chris says he plans to do that. I think that is to connect with me for doing a session, and looking forward to that. Bruins, I use the Brave browser myself, and I do have Brave browser on one of my computers. Use it once in a while, mostly just for the exposure. And there he's clicking on Google Chrome. Dan the Man says extension can take up multiple Chrome processes. Rock and Rob, figured I'd say hello to you, Doug, in chat. Hello, Rock and Rob. Glad to see you. Chris to Catherine, I've been using Edge. Might go back to Firefox. Used it years ago because Chrome is having issues. Catherine, Chrome is an issue. Blackwatch, some resort to a repair install. What does that all do? Fixes WU broken issues. What else? System files. Got some thoughts on that. Catherine's got a link for us, W Reset. And this is a good tool. Viv's to Catherine, Firefox stores all your information and profile on your hard drive, which is fun when you clone your old system to a new computer. I just did this for my brother. Yes, hello. We kind of watched you getting back, so let's. I've got you on screen. I'm going to minimize that guy and minimize this chat window and maximize this, and so now we have your screen. I don't remember if I explained to you that usually while I've got your screen displayed on the video, the Zoom thumbnails of me and you are visible to the audience.
That's fine.
And you are not watching on YouTube as well.
Nope.
Catching up a little more on chat, if you give me a moment, because I'm almost done here. Greg Guy says hello, Doug, and all in chat from St. Mary's County, Maryland. Hello, Greg. Glad to have you here.
That's good.
Catherine just downloaded Firefox and start from scratch. Rock and Rob says I'm blushing now. Thanks. And Chris says I see 2 Dougs. And Catherine, well, you see 2 Dougs, and I'll raise you a 1 Ken. Catherine says, hello, Rock and Rob Radigan. And I'm going to look in the participants in the chat. And does it show me in there twice? No. Oh, maybe he was seeing 2 images of me on the screen at the time. Because that's a thing. It happens. Oh yes, when your Zoom session was visible on your screen, they were seeing me in a thumbnail and seeing me full screen on your computer. Let's see. Catherine says hello. How? Yeah, Rockin' Robin, Catherine saying hello. And then Atex, what's better than one, Doug? And Chris, one was his computer. Okay, so I'm going to make a mark of the timestamp we're at, 3:17. For those of you in different time zones than me, if you look at the timestamps on the chat, you should see whatever your local hour is, :17. And if you're not seeing the timestamps, you can go up to the kebab menu in the upper right corner and click Toggle Timestamps. Of course, that's only if you're on a computer. I'm not sure what you do on a mobile device. All right, so did it work? I'm pressing Windows key, SLL for solitaire. Hey, this is your chance to place a bet. Enter key, enter key, enter key, enter key. I don't think anything's happening. And then Microsoft Solitaire Collect. This has a line under it as if it's clickable, but it's not. App settings. When I float the mouse over app settings, it slightly changes color or boldness. But it doesn't change to a finger, but it looks like it's clickable. So here's a left click. Sure enough, but we've been in here before. App execution aliases, optional features. Now we did get a suggestion from someone in chat where to go. App installer.
What is it with my lights? The bulb's got to be going out. I give up.
All right, so let's go into that. If I remember where he's saying to go. Troubleshooting. Can I just go this way and search for it? Troubleshooting settings. View troubleshooting, Windows update, security backup, recovery activation, developers. This is the kind of place where I'll go clicking into something and then breeze right past what I want to select. I'm going back up into chat to find that comment. Somebody was giving me a path for, oh, here it is. Troubleshooter for Windows Store apps, settings, update, and security. So I'm going to go back here. I think I could have got there more directly from that window I was at. Update and security. And troubleshoot. Oh, there it is. I knew it was right in front of my eyes somewhere and I was missing it. I do that all the time.
Well, you know, like Terry says, let me put on my old man glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask me before running troubleshooters. Share full diagnostic data. No recommended troubleshooters right now. View troubleshooting history. Additional troubleshooters. Run troubleshooters automatically. Don't notify. Don't run any troubleshooters. History additional. This looks, the most likely here is additional troubleshooters. Yeah, Wintermute confirms that, additional troubleshooters. I think a few people said that.
Playing audio printer, Bluetooth keyboard, Windows Update, program compatibility.
There it is, Windows Store apps.
Run the
troubleshooter. Run troubleshooter, run.
Forrest Gump comment. That's a good one. Doug wants to know about computers. I will watch that movie if it comes on 12 times a day. I'll watch it 12 times a day.
Oh, Ken Misudek says, hi, Ken from an old Army E5 veteran, 1968 to 1971. And thank you both for your service while we're at it.
Thank you.
Kurt, hope it works.
Oh, 95 Bravo. 83 to 92.
83 to 92 for you. All right.
Yep.
Greg Guy to Ken, same here, got out. Okay, so Greg Guy was also in, so thank you also for your service. Wintermute, additional troubleshooters. Catherine, additional troubleshooters. Wintermute, additional troubleshooters. They're just yelling, Doug, it's additional troubleshooters. We told you that. Kurt Yanuk, I am now using Edge as it has been improved. I used to use Firefox, got tired of the constant updating. Understand that. Viv says, I'm going to have to watch this again as I can only concentrate on the chat or the live. Oh man, I know what you're saying there, Viv. I have a hard time watching video and chat at the same time. Catherine, I said the same as Wintermute. Yes, he did. Additional troubleshooters. Blackwatch optionally in FF. You could remove the FF updater, Firefox, from the program x86 folder. Use uninstall app feature. That was directed to Kurt. Viv, I had problem with Microsoft Store. I think the troubleshooter does can have a Microsoft account, which you need. Yes, we did actually confirm that you're signed on with a Microsoft account. So let's see, 323 is where we're at with the chat. Looking back at the screen now, reset an app. You can reset apps that aren't working right from apps and features. Open apps and features. Select the app that's not working, tap or click advanced options, then reset. We did that.
Right.
We just ran the troubleshooter, and the troubleshooter didn't tell us anything, right?
It's got a next down there now, though.
Yes, there we go.
That's new.
All right, so this is reset an app, open apps and features. I wonder if it wants us to do a reset in there before this next. I'm going to go ahead and try this next.
Or it could be the next. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The next was connected to the run that.
Yeah, starting bit service. It looks like it's really doing something here now. Troubleshooting was unable to fix all the issues found. You can find more details below. Hanging or crashing apps not fixed. Give feedback. Close the troubleshooter. Here's detailed information. Let's look at that. Yeah, I was not in that list. Click next. Hanging or crashing apps. Reset hanging or crashing apps completed. So that makes me think that the troubleshooter already reset hanging or crashing apps for us.
Right.
Potential issues checked. Some security settings missing. Issue not present. So all of these are issue not present. And then we have a next button. Troubleshooting has completed. Troubleshooting was unable to automatically fix all of the issues found. You can find more details below. So all we did there is we looked at the details. And it doesn't tell us what it... Oh, wait a minute. There's a scroll bar. Hanging or crashing apps not fixed. We'll go look at detection details in a minute. Issue not present. Issue not present. These are expandable buttons down here. Publisher details, that's probably not of interest. And detection details, that might be of interest. Service status, problem with bits service. Service already been started. We saw the troubleshooter start the bits service. That was one of the first things it did when it started doing its work. Troubleshoot problems that may prevent Windows Store apps from working properly. So it's given us the title of a few different things for publisher details. none of that is really clickable actions. So let's come back up here to look at this detection details. I think when I click on that detection details, it's just going to take us down to this section, right? So here, detection details, yes indeed, it just takes us down to that section. That didn't help much, so I'm looking back at chat before I go on to the next thing because somebody might know something about this area we're into. GWISIN to all of our veterans past and present. He's saying thank you, I assume. Problem, I think the trouble, okay. Wintermute, you already tried to reset. It was not in that list. Click next. Agreed. Wintermute, scroll down. Okay, I did that. Catherine, Windows Update bits. Okay, I think she's saying that we can perform a Windows update for the bits service. I think that's what that means. Ken Musadek to Greg, thanks for your service. He was in Signal Core Electronics Crypto. I never had the courage to jump out of an airplane. I honor you for your courage. Okay, so Ken Musadek, this is a little bit off topic, but I have Tracy's computer back here, and it has that problem with cryptographic services. So somehow I think your experience with crypto is probably not going to help me with Tracy's computer. But it was a thought. All right, so coming back. Viv says, even though you're logged onto your computer with a Microsoft account, Microsoft Store quite often requires logging in to your Microsoft account online to work. That makes sense. Catherine says, I meant bits is related to Windows Update. Okay, got you. 328. And let's see, you told us that you did some updates with the SSD drive, but we're on the spinning drive now. So Windows key, update space. I'm going to take a look at Windows Update settings and see what it tells us about your most recent.
Mechanical drive was not plugged in at the time when the solid state drive was plugged in.
Yeah. But you probably got automatic updates on your spinning drive independently. So here's a 2021-03 update. So that was, and in April 21st. So that was just a week or two ago. That's reasonably current. So you're not having failing updates. So let's try logging into the Microsoft Store on Microsoft Edge. And I'm assuming that we can just go to something called Microsoft Store. So the next in chat is Michael Malka. What are they doing? Just install fresh install Windows. Yeah, sure, that would fix Solitaire. I don't think we care enough about Solitaire that you would do a fresh Windows install just for that.
No, not on this drive. Nope, not needed.
This is, I think, is it fair to say that we're pursuing technical curiosity now?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anything vital to the running of anything I do, that's for sure.
Yeah. Google Play App Store. There's got to be some place. This feels like a likely place for us to get access to an App Store.
Microsoft Store.
Yeah, Download Center, Store Support, Returns, Store. Let's just try Download Center. That sounds pretty reasonable.
I'm signed in.
Yeah, I'll confirm here. So, yeah, we're signed in. Another demerit for me. for those who don't know, the demerits are because I'm trying to get better about not accidentally displaying email addresses.
That's all right.
And I know you're okay with that.
Yeah.
So why am I just kind of lingering on here? How about search and solitaire? I saw solitaire collection. Yeah.
Yeah, that one right. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay, so this, you recognize this as the one that
Oh,
was
look,
functional?
yeah, I mean, it's where. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If this works and that's not it, I'll know what to do. So.
Yeah, let's see. Here's this solitaire. See, that says Microsoft Solitaire Collection. So that at least matches the wording.
Matches that, right.
Single left click on it. Sign me up. Okay, so I'm punching away from your computer. Go ahead and type in your...
Do you think that's needed to make this work?
I think it's believable. I think it's believable to maybe install Solitaire on top of the existing. I don't know.
All right. Just giving my email out again. No worries.
Well, I'm on a different camera now. They can't see what you're typing.
Oh, no problem. That's fine if they get it. Somebody can email me and say, "Hey, try this, try this, try this."
Sure.
I'm okay with that. In fact, I'm really surprised I haven't made a shout out for help yet on certain things. Okay, I put it in, I hit sign up, and nothing happened.
Nothing's happening.
Nope.
That's not impressive. I'm trying a click also.
I got it spelled right, so because usually that's what I do wrong.
Yeah, well, even if you spelled it wrong, it should at least tell us that. So I'm going to put in an obvious misspelling, see if it'll even object to that. And it does not. And I'm still on my distance camera, so it's not displaying what we're seeing there. So. Oh, somebody said, Nick Howe says that's a newsletter. Wait a minute. How did it just come to here? I didn't click to do that, did I?
I didn't either. It just did.
I think it finally went somewhere. So here's a get. All right. Let's see. I can bring that back on screen. So clicking get. And then right after clicking on that, I punch to a different camera because it might display something. Then back to
this site is trying to open a URL Microsoft Windows Store.
Yeah, so this is Microsoft Edge notifying us that what we just clicked on is trying to open a Windows store at Microsoft.com, and they're alerting us to this because that might be a bad thing. Microsoft to Microsoft. So checkbox here would say always allow Microsoft.com to open links of this type in the associated app. So you have to wonder, is that always a safe thing to do? Could the bad guys ever...
Right, I would uncheck that and hit open and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you think like I think. If you check it, then you're just maybe opening a door for things you don't want to happen.
Yeah. So I think we saw a really long response time the last time I clicked on something when you put in your account address, and now I clicked get, and that's what gave us that warning. Is anything gonna happen?
Right. Doesn't look like it is, unless...
Sure doesn't. All right. Now there's this exclamation mark down there. It's not yellow, but so it's unclear if it's trying to warn us that there's a problem. So I just clicked get again and click open quicker. Is it possible that we have to do the checkbox?
I was sitting here thinking the same thing. You know how you have to agree with everything with Microsoft.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that Microsoft would insist that it's always allowed to do this. But we'll try it and see if we get any different results.
Doesn't look like it.
So if I go back in there, yeah, it won't click anymore. So I think there is something going on. Let's see if there's any download. Downloads? No. I can't imagine. That's something else you've done. Oh, that's an MP3, so certainly that's not. All right, looking at system requirements.
Windows 10. Huh. Windows 10.
So the only thing it cares about is the version, and we are above version 16,000 because that would have been Windows 1709. Because the first two digits, 16, that would have correlated to 2017. All right, let's try get from this window. Not feeling happy. Checking chat. Going back to 329. The timestamps. Michael, what are you doing? Okay, 331. Dan the man. I have fixed this problem by reinstalling Microsoft Store in PowerShell. You can Google how to do that. Having to use PowerShell to reinstall Microsoft Store. Boy, that's
Sounds complicated.
Overkill. I don't think it's difficult to do, but yeah, I would think Microsoft would provide an easier way to reinstall Microsoft Store. Good golly. Greg Dice directing to Ken. He's talking about more of his service, I think. Catherine, run system file checker /scan now. I tell you what, Catherine, every time I come across somebody suggesting that, system file checker scan now, that did some good things back when it first came out. I don't remember if it was Windows 95 or Windows 7, but my last couple dozen times it never fixed anything. I'm real skeptic on that. And every time I go to a website or I search something on Google and it takes me to a website, here's how to fix it, they always say sfc /scan now. But in the responses at the bottom of the web page, I never find anyone that says, yes, that fixed it for me. So I'm very skeptical. Chris Garrett, Windows 10 21H1 should be released this month. Yeah. And Catherine, which Windows version does he have? Okay, we'll take a look at that in a moment.
1904, I think.
Oh, no, you don't. I think
that's what it showed. I think that's what it showed, yeah. It says 20H2, but then it says 1904.
Oh. 20H2. Oh, 19042. That's the build number. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's version 20H2. It's build number 19042. And that the first two digits is always one digit below the version year. So the version year is 20, as in 2020. And the H2 means the second half of 2020. And the build number would always be one digit lower, 19, and then some other less significant digits. Viv says, I find solitaire aids my thinking as it uses one part of the brain while I try to solve problems. Yes. Nick Tao, that's a newsletter I think he was referring to when at one point we were clicking. And Viv's laughing at typical Microsoft, warning about going to a Microsoft site. Oh, there was one time that going to, what was it? I think the media creation tool. I think there was a time period when it gave a warning that this is an insecure site. Going to Microsoft Media Creation Tool. It might not have been the Media Creation Tool, but it was a Microsoft site. So Wintermute says wants to load MS Store, gonna fail. Ken Misudek. I worked with crypto equipment. I'm sure your problem is not that. Yeah, I agree. If I told you more, I would need to bite down on my cyanide pill for his crypto work. Blackwatch says one server on one hand, the other MS server on the other hand. Don't clap. Yep. Chris Garrett, agree even though you do not agree. Click agree even though you do not agree. Okay, so that would have been with that checkbox to allow it to always run. Greg Guy to Ken, I remember the KW26 with all the jacks to plug in. When in camp, I used to double in the commo bunker. Viv says, are updates being run within Microsoft Store? Are updates being run within Microsoft Store? Okay, I wasn't aware there's any separate setting for that, so that's on our radar. Catherine says, get AppX package, Windows Store, all users for each add app package, disable development mode, register, install location, AppX manifest. Holy moly. I don't know what to do with that, Catherine. Am I typing that in a browser or run line? Chris Garrett, Windows 95. Yes, Windows 95 had Surface, SFC. It's not Surface. System File Checker /scan now. Catherine, check for the Windows update. Didn't we already do that? I know we did.
We did.
GW Ison, Catherine, very good. Dan the Man, yes, Catherine. That what you run in PowerShell. I think that was the PowerShell command she was typing out for us. Catherine has 21H1. Viv says you can terminate Microsoft Store in the system apps. Okay. GWISN, doesn't everyone 21H1? No, we don't. Let's see, Viv, other options, reset it or default it. We did that for Solitaire. GWISN have 300 users running with no problems on. Oh, GWISN on Windows 10 21H1, he has 300 users running it with no problem. I'm guessing that's in a corporate environment, so probably not as much variety of devices and configuration and other software as the rest of the world might have. Wintermute can use wsreset.exe and command prompt resets MS Store. Google Microsoft Store does not load for instructions. That sounds interesting. That you copy and paste it into PowerShell admin and press enter. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go see what I can do about that. That sounds like an interesting thing to try. So to do that, I'm showing my screen to the viewers again. I'm going to go bring up the YouTube session on my computer number 2 so that I can copy and paste what she typed. So if I do live Windows training, searching for that in YouTube, better mute my speaker and then go into my channel, and then here's that video, launch it, and here's that chat. So then here's that text for that command. highlight that, Control C for copy. Oh, that's fun. You guys are seeing how much the delay is each time that highlights that text on one of those interior windows. That's the amount of delay we have. So then I come back to Ken's computer, right click on the Windows button, go to PowerShell. There I've got a PowerShell prompt. I'm going to try Control V for paste. Paste the command. So here's the command, and I'm going to make this bigger. Let's see, how much more can I do to make that bigger? I'd like to make it big enough so that Catherine, was it Catherine or Viv? Sorry, can proofread it. So if I go here to edit, scroll, default properties, there's a place here to increase font.
I noticed the size is grayed out, so I think it's as big as it's going to get. Oh, you might change the font though, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's make this bigger so I can see it. So here's font. Yeah. Let's see if that does it.
Oh yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see who knows that. That was Catherine. So Catherine, can you proofread that? Oh, Dan the Man says open PowerShell in admin. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to escape. Well, let me escape that, or do I got a backspace over all that? Control C to break out of that. Exit. And then right click on the Windows button. Choose PowerShell admin. Answer yes. Control V to paste again. Okay.
Same size. Good.
There's PowerShell and admin. Catherine, is that large enough for you to read it? Let's go ahead and make it bigger. What the hey? It's in properties. Font. 72 could be too big. All right, Catherine, can you proofread that for us? I'm going to look back at your instructions and work on proofreading it myself. Now, since somebody asked for system file checker, I figured as long as we're messing around at a DOS prompt, we might as well do that. Can we do system file checker in PowerShell? I have no idea. Looks okay to me. Catherine says, yes, press enter. So here we go, pressing enter at 72 point font size. Hard for me to tell what happened. I'm going to have to make the font size smaller. Go back down to 28. Font. Maximize the window. I'm going to hit enter key a couple times, get us to a fresh prompt. Control V, paste again, hit enter. So I can see it. Deployment operation in progress. So it looks like it did its thing and it's finished. Did you follow that, Ken?
Yep, I'm watching. Yeah, I would agree. I think it did what it was supposed to do, and it is finished.
Yeah. Now, it went by too fast for me to really read what it said. So
right,
could it have said something that would have, might have been an error or something. So I'm going to I'm going to try it once more, and I'm going to be ready to take a picture of it with my cell phone. In fact, here I got my cell phone ready, and then I'll Control V, and Ken, would you go ahead and press the Enter key? All right. So I got a couple shots. What that says is deployment operation in progress. C:\program files, Windows apps, Microsoft Store, yada, 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 yada. App manifest.xml initialized. All I saw was, I think all it said was initialized. The next shutter released, it was done. So, not much of a confirmation. So, Catherine says, yes, it did. Wintermute tried to open MS Store. Catherine, green is good. Error would flash red. Jesse Kirk says you can add the verbose parameter too. And let's see, Viv says if you use system settings, Apps Microsoft Store Advanced Settings Reset would have done it within Windows, no PowerShell required. Now try to open Windows Store from Dan. Yep, we're going there. I'm just going to minimize PowerShell. I'm pretty sure that would be a valid thing to do. And then it was Windows Store they want us to do. So Windows key, Store, there's Microsoft Store. Single left click. Hey, that looks better.
Yeah.
More better.
I just wonder if now, if Solitaire would work without reinstalling.
I'm on the same page.
Right.
I'm on the same page with you.
Place your bets. Nope.
Nope. Okay, but now we have Microsoft Store open. Now, the other thing, though, is that the repair for Solitaire might function more properly.
True.
Or reset. See, I think that was in App Settings. See, it seems like Solitaire should show up in this list, and we haven't seen it before.
I see Photos and Store. I see Microsoft OneDrive, Photos, Store, Movies and TV. Nope, no Solitaire. And then down there are sticky notes. That's it.
Okay. So then coming back here to Solitaire, uninstall rating room pin app settings. No. Okay, so let's come back to the store. Last time we found Solitaire in the store, but that was on the web page in Microsoft Edge. So here we're searching for Solitaire in the Microsoft Store app. So here's Solitaire Collection and Get.
That's new.
Install.
Install. Well, it was there temporarily. Yeah, it's downloaded. It's downloaded. Yep.
Error. Right there. We got an error.
See details. There you go.
Yeah. Something unexpected happened.
There's the error
problem. Now, here's a time when I have seen some occasions, not often, some occasions reporting this problem, it winds up taking me to a web page that is actually helpful. Usually not. Now, I'm highlighting that error code there, Control C to copy it. Report this problem.
Yeah, it takes you
Okay.
back to the same spot. It's funny.
Close that. What is this? Retry installation. Now, with regular Windows programs, sometimes you install and then you can install with compatibility settings, and meaning that Windows has the capability of recognizing that an installation failed. And then you try again. I know that in some instances it tries differently. I don't know if this in the App Store if it does anything differently.
Right.
Installing
I'm saying
this.
aired out again.
Let's have a look at what you've got running in the background. Do you have any protections that might be getting in our
No.
way? No.
Windows 10 only.
All right. Let's take a look at what Windows Security says. Just this nagging prompt to set up OneDrive. I'll dismiss that. No other prompts. All right. I'm going to go catch up with chat again to see if somebody's got something useful. Check for updates. Did that. Find Solitaire in the store. We did that. Press get. We did that. Is it possible this computer is infected? I'm not seeing or feeling anything along those lines. I think it's just a little broken.
I had considered if it was infected too, but then all the scans come up and show that it's good.
You know what? Infections, I used to have to do virus and malware remediation on my client computers at least one a month. Over the period of a year, I'd get 12 of them. But Windows 10, ever since really the first year, that just doesn't happen anymore at all, in my experience among my clients. Now, keep in mind, my clients, I keep their computer installations pretty simple, and they use their computers for work. So that could mean they're more sheltered than the average home user. But and the few occasions that I have done virus scans, like I did it for Tracy's computer, it came up with nothing. Tracy's computer is the one that was having that crypto something service error. All right, so are there other Microsoft Store apps that do work? Play. There we got some stuff. Let's see, we got 25 viewers currently. I'm seeing my CPU utilization on my streamer looks good. Stream health says healthy. There's been no errors. Just checking them to see how we're doing. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so looking back at some suggestions. Wintermute searched for that error message. It looks like he says access denied. It's a permissions issue. Let's find out. I think we already looked at it, but Windows key, sign in options, and we'll give a confirmation to people here. Now, if we were concerned about your email address, I would blur you now. So I'm just saying that I'm conscious that I'm about to show your Microsoft account.
You're good.
And I'm going to do it because you've given me permission.
Right.
So go to your info. This is showing right here that you log into your computer with a Microsoft account. And I want to see a confirmation that we have admin rights. And let's see, if we go to email accounts, it's listed in the workers, well, it's a personal account, even though it's showing under there. I wish they would have done that different. Sign in options, nothing there. Now, I set up my business clients with local user accounts, not Microsoft accounts. So I'm struggling to see how do we tell that we have admin rights. I'm going to go control panel and user accounts in here. Yeah, here it confirms that you have administrator rights. There may have been a place somewhere else. Oh, we got a baby.
Grandchild number 3.
Awesome.
Matthew Amadeus, and they should have never named him Amadeus, because now every time I see him, I'm like, Amadeus, Amadeus, Amadeus.
How old is he now?
1 year and 5 months.
All right, so he's too young to be upset at you about that.
Oh, he thinks it's cute.
All right. So we have an administrator account. So rights. I don't see how we're lacking permissions. Now, Viv says try logging in the Microsoft account online again to reset the Microsoft Store. I like that. We'll do that. ATEX says audiovisual good. Thank you for the confirmation. Nick Tao says unpin the tiles. It might try to set up a new one. Okay. That sounds like it could be a thing. Let's just unpin from start. Now, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to scroll down your programs list here. And I'm thinking it's probably in the S's. Is there solitaire? No.
Probably under Microsoft.
Or games.
Right there, Microsoft Collection.
Solitaire collection, yeah. So we haven't tried launching it from here. A right click, more, app settings, rate review. So there's not a thing to launch it as admin. So I just did a single click on that. I'm going to try it again. The start menu doesn't even go away. App settings. So here's
Photo Store update. No.
Changing start installing web apps from Microsoft. Doesn't that take us to the Microsoft Store?
I would think. That would be
And
where I would think it would go.
updating apps. That sounds interesting too. Get updates for apps and games in the Microsoft Store.
Oh, here we go. We got that again.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Computer. Here's a collection. Error. See detail. Things again. Can we uninstall it?
No, why you couldn't.
Can't. Look at that. Can't.
Right.
So, normal. Stream hell. Internet. Fess up now. So.
Bulb and see if that's what my problem is with this one line. I'll be right
Go
back.
ahead.
I can't believe everybody's so
Something restarted, like the video, yes we sure do. Stream health, 412, stream healthy.
That bulb came right on, so maybe the bulb was going bad. I don't know if that helps or not.
Oh, the stream just came back up. So what seemed to actually trigger it is when I did a refresh on the web browser for YouTube Live Studio on my Mac. And we're back up to 14 viewers. So thank you everybody for coming back. Or maybe we're not everybody yet, but we're working on it. So let's see.
The three monitors that I see, is that three separate systems?
Yeah, those are three separate computers, but that's not all the monitors I have on my desk. And that's not all
No,
the
I know you
computers
got
on
the
my
one I'm
desk.
jealous of with the Apple floating screen.
Yeah. So let's get back here to work, I think. Let me, yeah, so I stopped and restarted the stream on my XSplit. That did not seem to help. And what did seem to help is that I just did the refresh button in the browser for YouTube Studio live stream. And that brought it back. Stream's going to Maryland. And the funny thing is that even when my streamer was restarted, the YouTube Live Studio still said stream health was healthy. And it had a current time. But until I actually did a refresh on there, that's surprising because I thought that this YouTube Live Studio is just a monitoring. I didn't think that that was actually part of the process of accomplishing a stream. Now, wait a minute. This computer's not live yet. Oh, I think I need to refresh that browser. Ay, geez. Why do we put up with this technology? There it is.
Good when it works.
And looks like all the chat is still there. I'll be interested to see how that shows up on the replay. Was there going to be a lot of downtime in the replay, or does it just splice them together?
Good question.
Okay, so people are saying that it's back up. So I had to do a refresh on my Mac browser. You guys had to do a refresh on your browsers. And now let's get back to Ken's computer here. Complete setup. What? Oh, this is for Microsoft Edge. I like Focus because it doesn't have a lot of background clutter. Do you know what you want?
The Focus is fine. I rarely use the Edge.
Yeah. Sync browser data across all your signed-in devices, yes or no?
Will that go to, okay, let my brain and mouth catch up. Will that sync it to my iPhone?
Only if your iPhone is signed into your Microsoft account.
Which it is all the time. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
All right. And then improve personalization by letting Microsoft use your browsing history. Yes or no?
That's fine. Again, I rarely use it.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
Google, but I'm trying to find another one to get away from Google.
I thought I had already gone into Microsoft Edge on your computer.
I think we did once, but we didn't set it up. I think we bypassed that.
All right. So I want to go Microsoft Store. We're still trying to accomplish the suggestion about doing a reset from within Microsoft Store. And we did not find that within the Microsoft Store app. Seems like that would be resetting your... Okay, so let's just close this newsletter thing. Does that work? All right, that worked. We're signed in. software store search. Looking for a way to reset the Microsoft Store. We're on Microsoft.com. Oh, there's store right there in the URL. More. No. Over here maybe. Oh, what's this? This feels possible. Blackwatch has invited everybody to come over to your place, Ken, for dinner.
You have to have Blackwatch ask everybody that they like diabetic food, because that's pretty much what we're having.
I don't remember if I ever found out where you are coming to us from.
Charleston, Illinois.
Charleston, Illinois. All right. Very good.
Eastern Illinois University.
Yeah.
Tony Romo. I didn't know it was here either until I moved here.
Okay.
And we only moved here because we moved from Vegas in 2019 to get closer to the family. My entire family lives in Indiana. They're about 2 hours away. An employment situation is what brought us here. They didn't have anything there, so it was actually a really easy transition from there to here. And within 6 months, we bought a house. Now we've got 16 chickens, a big garden, bunches of flowers. Miss Vegas, though.
How long did you live in Vegas?
About 3 years.
All right.
We lived in San Diego, California prior to that, and we only left California because of the expense and the nonsense that was going on there. We narrowed it down to Phoenix, Arizona, or Las Vegas, and Las Vegas won because the state of Nevada does not have state income tax, so we would be making a little bit more money, and that's why we went to Vegas. Weather-wise, they're about the same, although I think Carrie would argue it's probably hotter in Phoenix.
So I'm looking for some place to reset the Microsoft Store based on suggestion from chat. I'm not seeing where to find it. Does anyone have directions to get to that? Kids for dinner, New Edge. There's water fox to let me book a flight first. Greg Guy telling Ken Stout I was born in Hammond. Do you know?
Way up north.
Do you know someplace named Hammond?
Yeah, it's way up north. I grew up in the middle of the state, about 45 miles southwest of Indianapolis, in between Indianapolis, Terre Haute, and Bloomington, Indiana Hoosiers. I know they're horrible, but they're my team.
All right, so I'm going to take this from Viv. System settings. So Windows.
Yeah, it says go to settings, systems, apps, and features. Click store, advanced options, reset. But that was from 4 years ago.
System settings, apps. It looks like here.
No, it says settings, systems. So go back to settings, and go into system on the top.
Oh, here.
There you go, right there. And then apps and features. I don't see apps and features.
Well, I thought that we had it. It looked.
Should be in that.
Like this made sense. And then here's apps and features. We're on apps and features. What was the next piece of that?
Right, and then click store, advanced, and reset.
Store. I'm thinking it's Microsoft Store. There's Microsoft
right there.
Store.
Yep. Back up. It was there.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I just gone down to see if there's anything
Make sure.
under
Yeah.
Store. So Microsoft Store. And then probably a right click.
Advanced options.
left click, move. Oh, here's advanced options.
And reset,
And reset.
which is not on there.
Scroll down.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. We've done a reset before, but I think it was on one of the apps. I don't think it was on the store. Permanently delete the app's data. Yeah, that's very familiar. Here we got a spinning circle of dots.
Which we didn't have last time. We just got to a check mark. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
There's a check mark.
Yeah. Let's see then. Uninstall Solitaire, reinstall it, update the store app afterwards. Yes, you did it. Oh, yeah, Viv says we did it in PowerShell. Yes, that PowerShell command we did was for resetting the store.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's true. This is the GUI way to accomplish that. Okay, so then see, I was inclined to just go try Solitaire, but Catherine looks like she's favoring uninstall Solitaire, and I'm assuming she means before trying to launch it. Solitaire not in the list of apps, though. It's from Winter
Right.
Butte. Yeah,
Right,
it was
it was
not in the list of apps. So that means we can't uninstall it if it's not in the list of apps. And let's come back here to this apps and verify that it's not here.
Explorer, OneDrive, Edge, Photos, Store, Health, Shortcut, Sticky Notes, and Shotcut. Nope.
Okay, so let's try.
Hey, scroll back down a minute to the bottom. Your phone, April 27th. Okay, I was just curious what the date was on that. That was last week, so I rarely plug my phone into here, but that's probably what that was.
I'm thinking I want to explore that rights issue a little bit. If we can find a location where these files are stored and check on rights. Do we get, will this tell us where the files are?
If you were to go to, you probably can't right click and do properties, can you?
That's right. We can't. And that's the downside of Windows apps. I think they're all together in a consolidated location. Probably not too hard to find. Candy Crush Friends. It would make sense to be at the same place, and it's from king.com, but we don't know. I was thinking of doing a search for Candy Crush Friends, but we don't know that the file is called that on the C drive.
Right.
So we can't, Catherine, we cannot uninstall Solitaire because it's not there. We can try to install it again, and the install failed. So we have reset the store a second time. We could try the install again for Solitaire, of course. You found Microsoft Solitaire was not installed. Yeah, and the install failed to complete. Is Microsoft Solitaire collection shown in the start menu list? If so, click and uninstall. All right, so start menu list. Now we unpinned it from here based on somebody's idea. But here's a play group. Is it inside here? Spotify music. That's interesting that these don't have icons. No, okay, so let's come over on this side. And it was under Microsoft when we saw it before. Oh, Microsoft
Yep.
Solitaire Collection. So, right click. There's an uninstall. I think that's where we're about to go. All right, I'm liking that. Now, I know we went to app settings previously and we were able to do a reset, but we've tried that a few times from here.
Right,
And
and it didn't do
it
anything.
just takes us to that list of apps and features, and it's
Right.
not there. So I'm inclined to do uninstall from here.
Agree.
All right, here we go. This app and its related info will be uninstalled. Looking to see something happening. Single left click again. I get nothing. That implies something is happening. Take a look at Task Manager, see if we can confirm anything happening. Sort by CPU. Nothing useful there. Microsoft Solitaire Collection still here. That's a right click. The uninstall option is available again or still.
Again, yeah.
All right. Maybe I should press the mouse button harder. Now, so this up here says this app and its related info will be installed. That's appearing above Microsoft Solitaire Collection. Above
Right.
that is iTunes. I think there's some things that are hidden behind that. When I float the mouse over the word uninstall, it highlights. So it's responding to the mouse. And here is left click. And that went away. And here's the other things we see now that were hidden by that window.
Right.
Microsoft Solitaire Collection still here. Right click again. And it still seems to be here.
I wonder if the system needs to be restarted.
Yeah. Take a look at app settings just to be sure there's nothing else.
Oh,
Well, that just disappeared.
just flaked out.
Did it disappear because it was already open? It was behaving like a toggle switch?
It's PowerShell.
Yeah, let's close that. So this is certainly misbehaving. That's a fair thing to say, I think. After I click on install, something should happen.
Right.
Now, if somebody in chat wants to be really helpful, go uninstall Microsoft Solitaire Collection on your own computer. Tell us what happens after clicking the uninstall button. Ed Schwartz says, very strange that it didn't uninstall. Yes, I think pressing the mouse button harder should help. All right. I'm going to go out to the garage and grab a hammer.
Yes, I had that thought already.
Viv asked, does Ken have Xbox Live Microsoft Solitaire requires that?
I would have to go into the apps and look, but I have no clue.
Well, I think, let me try rephrasing that. She's asking, does Ken have Xbox Live because Microsoft Solitaire requires that? I'm thinking that you have to have an Xbox Live account, which is one and the same as a Microsoft account.
Right.
I could believe Microsoft Solitaire requires you have to Microsoft account, although I don't really believe that's true. But it could be. And it's seriously hard to believe. In fact, I know the senior citizen clients of mine that want Microsoft Solitaire, they don't have Xbox. Catherine says the icon will disappear. I guess that means when you click on install, and it was doing exactly, well, the icon. Does she mean the uninstall button, or does she mean the Microsoft Solitaire collection? I think she means the Microsoft Solitaire collection, that should just disappear.
I would think, yeah.
That makes entirely too much good sense. Blackwatch, it is solitaire. You have to use a gaming mouse. LOL, this is more difficult than that. All right. Chris says, mine gives option for all users, but there is no other users. Okay, well that makes sense. It's click uninstall, and it's believable. Then it would say, do you want to uninstall for all users, or just uninstall for this user?
Right, but I only have one user on here, so maybe
Well,
it doesn't problem.
Yeah, but that's the same thing Chris had. He only had one user, but he was still asked the question. And that makes total sense, because if you say just for this user, that means if you subsequently add a new user to this computer, then it would automatically get Microsoft Solitaire, even though it's been uninstalled for this user. Oh, Wintermute says, uninstalled it myself. Nothing pops up, just gets removed from the start menu. That makes total sense. That's what I would expect to see.
Except in my case.
Yeah, Blackwatch says, nope, I uninstalled Xbox, none of these issues. Agreed. Catherine says yes, but I don't know what she's responding to there. Chris says, I uninstalled, it still opens. Chris says he uninstalled it, meaning Microsoft Solitaire, and it still opens. Catherine says, that is what I meant. All right. Well, let me write down the time of where we're at. It's kind of starting to feel like we're getting a little long in the tooth with this live stream. And now,
I really appreciate it, but I agree.
Yeah. You know, we've long ago satisfied what our objective was.
Yep.
This has all just been exploring, and we did this extra stuff about these shortcuts to data on your computer.
Right, I did not know that, and I learned something. I appreciate that.
I seriously don't believe a restart's going to fix that. That just doesn't happen. These people that just uninstalled Microsoft Solitaire, they did not get any prompts for restarting.
Right.
Now, the only justification is that we did reset the Microsoft Store, but we've done that a couple of times, and we did it once recently through the user interface, but we did it previously through the Powershell, and that didn't get us anywhere. There were the suggestions of System File Checker, which I've already said that I'm very skeptical about. You could certainly try that on your own, because that takes a little while to run. Are you familiar with it?
No.
All right. Well, that Windows key CMD, that doesn't have to be run from a PowerShell. Right click on the command prompt, run as administrator, answer yes, then SFC space / scan now and enter. So that's off and running. It says it will take some time, and you're on a spinning hard drive, so
it's going to take some
time. Take a while, but if you find that you make better progress afterwards, you could let me know by email, and I'll report it in the description of this video.
All right.
ZVI Manor says, check if you have full permissions in directory packages in the username. Okay, perfect. I want to do that. Viv says, Chris Garrett, do you have all Xbox Live apps in place? Blackwatch, can another restart be worth a go? Maybe it's just we don't have a real strong reason to believe that. But let's go check on those rights, because I didn't know where to go check on that. So that's expand the C drive down here, expand the users folder, and expand your profile, KSTOU. And then we go into app data, and it looks like it is clickable there, yes. And then local. In directory packages, here's directory packages. Right click on directory packages, choose properties, go to security. System has full rights. Ken has all rights. Administrators has all rights. ZVI Manor, does that satisfy you that yes, we do have all rights? I'm going to drag this off to the side while we're waiting for that response. I'm going to go into packages.
Jeez.
This looks like fun.
Yeah, that looks like a...
Now, you can see a lot of ellipsis dots here, the 3 dots. I used to go up here and try to drag the column wide enough.
Right.
But much easier is to get that double-headed arrow, then just double-click. It will automatically expand to the width of the longest item that's currently visible on the screen. We could scroll down here and find some other things with the ellipsis, but we don't. So I'm wondering, is there anything in here about Solitaire? Here's Solitaire collection, dated October 25th. See, I'm tempted to just manually delete that. You know, I haven't found this on a Google search. It's just basically hacking. Not the security type of hacking, but just hammering away, trying to find something that solves the need. I'm just kind of looking around for Solitaire. Now, if I type Solitaire up here in this search field, I'm not getting a blinking cursor. Oh, let's cancel this. Maybe that's why. Still don't get a blinking cursor. It's not going to let me search. Look at all these others are the same date. That's probably the date of an upgrade or an update. Oh, the screen just refreshed. Oh, now I got a search cursor. Solitaire. S-O-L-I-T. And enter.
Should highlight everything that's connected to Solitaire.
That has the word Solitaire or Solid in the file name.
Right. Whoa,
No,
interesting.
no items match. Cancel that search. Close the search. Let's see if anybody is, look at chat and see if anyone's supporting my proposal. Lance Forey says, damn, missed the show. What's the issue? I'll summarize in a moment. Viv says, she uninstalled Xbox Live app some time ago and the Microsoft Solitaire would not work. Had to reinstall Xbox. You missed this. Yeah, I know there was a section of chat that I missed. ZVI Manor says yes. I think he's saying yes to the rights. Yeah, when I was asking about the rights. Chris Garrett says, hacking with a hammer. Yes. Sam Van Thiel, hello. I just hopped in. What are we looking at now? I'll summarize in a moment. Tony says, hi to Sam. Blackwatch, main issue. Fix. Ken has no games. Cannot reload them. And responding to Lance Forey. So We're way past Ken's original question, which had to do with upgrading his computer to an SSD and how to go about installing new programs. So I'm not going to repeat all of that, but we since moved on to getting these shortcut folders on his desktop because he had a bunch of, these were actual data folders on the desktop. So we moved those to the pictures folder, then created shortcuts. Now we're working on his question about Solitaire. Microsoft Solitaire shows up in his installed apps list, but it won't run. It won't uninstall. When we try to reinstall it, the installation fails. We've reset the Microsoft Store a couple times. We've tried a few other brute force and more surgical things to do. What I'm proposing to do now is just try to delete this Microsoft Solitaire collection folder and then try installing again. Oh, Wintermute says rename that Solitaire folder, then reinstall it. All right, I'm not going to be surprised if it won't let me do that, but here I'm going to try rename. And then I'm going to mess with it right up. Well, let's see, Solitaire collection. Let's go out here. I'm going to put hyphen defective hyphen enter. Yep, let me do it.
Yep, I let you do it.
Then he says uninstall. So let's come back to over here. Solitaire collection, right click and uninstall. When I left click on uninstall, we get this button here. Now here's where it misbehaves. According to other people in the chat that just tried this on their computers, when we click uninstall,
Should go away.
Solitaire collection down here should just disappear, and it doesn't so far. So clicking uninstall now, and it's still there. Right click again, uninstall again, uninstall, it does not go away. Now, we've renamed this, and I think that's sufficient to make the... No, I don't think that's sufficient. I have seen occasions with Windows system files, if you rename it, Windows follows right along with that renaming. It keeps track of that, and meaning renaming is not adequate. It really needs a delete. And you're getting a new computer down the road anyway. This doesn't work. Are you okay with deleting it?
I'm fine with that.
All right. Here's a left click on delete. You'll need to provide administrator permission. Continue, which is giving administrator permission. 541 items, 781,000 items in Solitaire. Well, of course, you know, Solitaire has multiple different decks with the different cards. So each one of those decks must be 52 cards. Wouldn't each one of those be a separate file?
It seems like an awful lot, though.
I'm joking, no. Okay, so that did disappear. Now, what happens if we come back here? This is brute force.
Still there.
Still
Try
there.
to delete it again.
Right click, uninstall, uninstall. Still there. Okay,
Still there.
so this start menu can be edited. And it's been so long since I've gone in there. Event Viewer and File Explorer, from the start menu, there was a trick. Trying again, left click, and then scroll down here on, let's see, right click on M. No. What I'm looking here is like back from Windows 7 days. I don't know if it's valid from here, but this start menu is actually stored in a folder. And it seems to me I recently made a note of that in my Microsoft OneNote, technical notes folder, and so it was called Start Menu, I think. There is a branch. All users, Start Menu and Desktop. This looks like it. That's a Windows 7 note. Start, right click all programs. Start menu, right click. Oh, yeah. So Start Menu, right click, and we don't get all programs in Windows 10. Right click here. No, that's not what I want. This guy up here. No. So where was that with Windows 10? When did I... Can I get that? Where is Start Menu items stored? Windows 7 Start Command. Oh, let's see if this works. Shell, Startup Access, Startup Folder. Okay, so here, let's see if this works. Users, username, app data, Microsoft. So I want to go up to the app data level. So I'm going to click over here on this up arrow. That goes up to local. One more up arrow goes up to app data. And then Microsoft. There is no Microsoft there, but there is inside of local. And then Microsoft. And no Start Menu. Windows. No. If I come back to app data and search for the word start. Enter. Looking back at chat now. Let's see. ZVI manner that uninstall with PowerShell. We did a reset in PowerShell. We didn't do an uninstall. Start menu is an app data local. Oh, and look at here. Start menu. Looks like I found it here. I'm going to right click and open a new window. Start menu. Programs. Oh, whoops. I'm doing that on my computer. Am I?
I think it's mine, isn't it?
It's yours. When I did right click on Start Menu, open a new window, and then do you see the Start Menu that I'm moving the mouse back and forth across?
Right.
All right. And then if I single click up here, it should show the whole path. All right. Then double click Programs. Oh, I was saying it's mine because I saw Computer Age Consulting here, but that's the Log Me and Rescue. I don't see anything here that looks like the Microsoft Apps menu.
No.
So I see a couple others in chat that looks good. And there's a few differences. Wintermute, it's multiple folders. App data roaming, and I know there's others, different suggestions, so I'm going to take those one at a time. Oh, geez, are you kidding me? Oh, it's almost 7 o'clock your time, not my time.
Yeah, it's 6:52 here.
Oh my gosh. Let's get out of that, I think. Come back over to here. That's the start. Let's close the search so I can just browse through the level that they're suggesting. Username app data roaming. So here's the username. There's app data roaming. Microsoft Windows Start menu. Microsoft Windows Start menu. Then we get programs again.
Pretty much the same thing.
Looks the same thing. So looking at the next one in this list of suggestions. Jesse Kirk, program data. That sounds like a good one. So I'm going to click in the address bar, C:\/ program space data. No, there's no space for program data. Enter. That's a hidden folder. Microsoft Windows Start. Microsoft Windows Start menu. Programs. Okay. It's not there. So what we're trying to find is the file system item that correlates to Microsoft Solitaire collection. And I don't know if it is stored in the file system. That's an application, standard traditional applications way of doing things, but I don't see what we're looking for there. Then program data, Microsoft Windows Start menu. That's where we're at right now. Okay, yeah, so they both just listed. And I see there's a word wrap there on Jesse Kirk's. He did actually say Start menu. So we are in the exact place that Jesse recommended and Dan the Man. That's the same thing, even though one uses the system variable. Winter mute roaming. Okay, so we did brute force delete that folder. Is that enough to install?
Corrupt.
Here's that scan now finish. What does it say? Beginning
Yeah,
verification. Found corrupt files, successfully repaired them. For online repairers, details are included in the CBS log file located at that location for offline repairs. Now, I will amend what I said before about saying that I've never had this work. I've never had it solve a problem. I have had it report finding corrupt files. Just not solve the problem. All right. Just checking up on my phone on people that have tried to contact me. Those can all wait. All right, so, and I took a photo in case we want to go back and look at that, because we're going to speculate and hopulate, is that a word? That fixed the problem. So we'll go back, find Solitaire, and try to install it.
So, Doug, if you want to wrap it up for tonight here shortly, I'm good with that. I got to go take my wife dinner here shortly. And if you want to do a part 2 at some point in time, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be the last effort for now. And then we're going
Let Blackwitch know I'm sorry. The summer grill will be, the invites will go out for that.
All right.
We're going to have fresh chicken. I have 16 of them.
All right.
Okay, it looks like it got to about the same place and stopped.
Installing.
Yep, it errored out again.
We're done. Thank you, everybody, for all your help and being interested and being with us. We're going to shut this down. Yes, and I'll bring you back up on screen here in the Zoom session. Ken, if you just say your goodbye to the chat and thank yous and whatever.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. I'll put a plug in for myself real quick. Anyone that knows anything about Vegas Pro, email me. You've seen my email address enough. I need all the help I can get. Thanks, Doug.
Is that a game?
No, it's
what
here.
Is Vegas Pro?
Are we still connected?
Yeah, we're still connected.
I'll show you real quick if it works.
And you folks
a friend of mine in Vegas called me and said, hey, I want to do this. Have you ever heard of this? I'm like, no, I have not. I researched it. I've come down to Vegas Pro or Shotcut, and they're both editing videos and pictures and whatnot. Shotcut's easier, but it doesn't have as many options. But Vegas Pro is just, it's amazing.
Okay, so, that was enough of an answer. It's a video and photo editing program?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you demonstrate it to us because that's just gonna keep us going.
No. So yeah, whenever you have time, there's no hurry or whatever on it. I probably will pull the mechanical drive out, put the solid state drive in, reinstall Windows 10 with the newest version that there is, and then get a hold of you and figure out how we're gonna do what you suggested earlier today.
Very good. Awesome.
I appreciate it. Appreciate everyone's help in the chat room. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. All right.
Take
I'm
care.
ending the Zoom session.
Sounds good.
Goodbye. Okay, and that brings me back up on screen. And okay, everybody, we're done there. Here's the email address if you'd like to come into a session with me for a live stream for whatever computer issues you'd like to deal with. I hope this has been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.